Are you ready, Chili? What you got going on with your phone over there, Chill? You looking up the news for today?
Yeah, I've got it ready.
Okay, you got it ready. Okay, I was just making sure. All right, everyone, welcome back. Are we live, Blake?
You're live.
All right, welcome back to the 307 podcast. We're glad you're here. If this is your first time joining, I'm your main host, Chad Rite. We got Priest Cornbread over here to my right-hand side. He has been a priest now for, going on 2 years, Cornbread?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. He refuses to wear his official garments, his official vestige. By the way, Chili, I've been reading about this difference between the Reformation. I've been reading about the Reformation. And
Protestant Reformation.
Yes.
But you're not a Protestant.
So I was confused about what all that meant, but I've been reading about how that came about with Martin Luther.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you learn all that when you went to Christian school?
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting to learn about what the Roman Catholic Church believes and how it's so much different than what, well, really what the Bible says. Chili. We got Pope Chili in the house. Welcome, Chili. Quite a hunt this morning, huh?
Well, tell me about it.
You had quite the hunt, didn't you?
Oh, fight up.
About 30 minutes.
That's about Chili's standard hunt, 30 minutes. And we got beautiful Biscuit over here. You want to come over here on the camera, boo-boo?
Nope.
You could share a microphone with me if you want.
No, thank you. Thank you for offering, though.
Share one with Cornbread.
No, corn's ill. I ain't catching whatever freaking bacteria corn's got. Corn red. He keeps turning blue, pink, and red just at random times.
He's like a turkey, ain't he?
He said
he's like a goblin.
He said he's been running a fever for almost 2 weeks.
Not straight,
He won't go to the doctor.
just like on and off. Sometimes maybe a fever. It don't count as a fever unless you check it.
Corn red. If you keep doing that, you're going to be corn dead. Now, start taking care of
Cornbread,
yourself.
you don't need to be coming around me if you're sick, Bubba. You know how frail I am.
If anybody's sick, we got it from you. I
year,
got it from you.
This year alone,
And possibly Brooke.
What? No.
Yeah, y'all are all the time sick.
They are.
Because we have to do all the traveling because
Y'all
you guys
had
won't.
diarrhea for like 3 straight
Y'all won't
months.
travel with Chad, so I have to go with him, and then we both end up getting sick.
Y'all beat my immune system down for a whole quarter of the year. Finally caught it.
And then we got the Bishop sitting behind the computer. He's got the money out. He's counting that money. Bishop Blake.
6 1,000. 7 1,000.
Welcome back. It has been a very nice reprieve from traveling these last couple of weeks for me anyways. It has been such a nice little break from traveling. I've been able to just open my mind up to so many new things.
Didn't we just go to Texas last week? Ew. God, Blake just farted over here, and it is terrible.
Now, baby, this is a serious show.
That is absolutely gosh awful.
Blake, this is a serious show, Bubba.
She's always wanted to talk about farts till you let one.
What are they whispering about? Look at Cornbread. Look at him. He's having a fit. He's having a fit.
Holy crap, guys. Are y'all ready to start the dang show or what? I mean, I'm just trying to get through an introduction here, and
I think you're doing awesome, dude.
Y'all are losing your minds, man.
I think you're doing awesome, man.
I just said when I walked in this studio, I walked in and I went, it doesn't smell like a fart in here. And Blake let it go maybe 3 minutes, and now it smells like someone doo-dooed on the floor.
I told you could come over here and share a mic with me if you want, boo-boo.
I might do that.
Yeah.
It's got another in the pipe.
It's looking like we're going to get up at 3:45, Corn.
Yeah.
We got any announcements for the week, Blake?
We got that new advanced. You want to talk about that?
Whoa, you're jumping the gun on that a little
You
bit,
want to
ain't
talk
you?
about that?
He's jumping the gun a little bit on that, ain't he?
Well, you already had it. You asked about the dates, and yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean I was.
That
That doesn't mean I was trying to announce that to everybody live on the podcast. I mean,
He was trying to pull the reins back on the team and say, all right, it's work mode time. Chill out.
yeah, I was trying to get y'all locked in.
Well, that's what you should have said.
Well, I guess since you already said the word, advanced ROP course. Advanced ROP course.
People should know. Thing ain't but a couple months out.
March 7 through 9. Chili, where do they apply for that?
3 of 7 website. There is a well, that's a good question. How do we want to do it? You want to add a tab to the website?
Well, the only people that can apply have done the ROP, and they've got the email.
Okay. We'll just do that then. Send your application for Advanced ROP. Put Advanced ROP in the subject line. 3 of 7 ROP@gmail.com. 3 of 7 ROP@gmail.com. Let's do it that way.
307ROP@gmail.com.
Since you sprung that on me.
But
Advanced.
you can't apply if you hadn't done it.
Right, yeah. You have to be a
This is for
ROP course graduate
Yes, graduate.
only.
This is going to be a small team. You will, if you apply for the advanced rite of passage, then you will be selected according to your performance when you did your rite of passage. All right? This will only be the best of the best out of the hundreds of people that we have trained. This will be the best of the best. Like nothing you've ever done before, like nothing we've ever done before. This is not going to be a repeat of your original rite of passage. On this one, you decide. Advanced ROP course. You decide.
That's big.
I'll go ahead and be up front with y'all. You need to have the 7th through 9th off. You need to be able to be here on the 7th. March. And price of admission is 1 ounce of minted gold. It either has to be 0.999% pure. So you have basically 2 options: Canadian maple leaf or an American buffalo.
How are you going to test the gold as the participants arrive?
It's got to be. It's a
Currency.
Minted coin.
What does minted mean?
It's a coin.
It
Does
means
it come
it's
with a little piece of paper?
it's minted by the U.S. American government.
You trust the American government
Or Canadian.
to mint
Canadian.
something?
So that's price of admission. I don't know.
He's ignoring me again.
You're going to have to. I think gold's down right now. It's
Yeah,
down.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's down.
Silver's up.
Is
Silver's
it?
a steal.
Yeah, I checked gold the other day. It was like 2,700 an ounce, and now it's down in the 2,600 range. It's going to keep coming down. So, well, it might go up, but whatever the price of gold is,
It can go down to 0 if
Yeah.
Trump's president.
yeah, I
It
mean,
don't
this is
freaking matter.
the Trump economy.
It don't matter.
So, your admission is 1 ounce of minted gold, 0.999. So it needs to be an American buffalo or a Canadian maple leaf. All right. Figure it out, man. You say, well, why, Chad, why are you making me pay in gold? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because I want you to figure it out, son. Training starts now. Advanced ROP, March 7 through 9. Chili told you where to apply.
You know,
You decide.
we also hadn't talked much about this bike ride.
That's because I ain't releasing that yet.
You ain't? Well, someone on here commented about it. They know.
They don't know nothing about that ride.
Well, isn't it coming up too?
Well, it'll come up when I say it comes up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought it was pretty soon.
He's got to make sure his back's not out before he throws that on the
Well,
fire.
since a lot of these are getting shot down, let me make an announcement here. We got the Chad and Chili shirts in stock and ready to buy. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the Chad and Chili shirts? They're limited stock now. Limited run.
Actually, I don't know that I'm going to keep selling those, Blake, because those are actually going to be legacy items.
Legacy
Oh, are
item.
they?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to sell the Chad and Chili shirt because one day Chili and I are going to be in power, and those are going to be legacy items. I mean, those, because we'll never do another run of Chad and Chili 24.
Oh,
Right.
we sure won't.
So
You're right about that, bub.
I'm telling you, you need to take those shirts and you need to put them in a daggone, fold them up, put them in an airtight container, put them in a daggone storage unit somewhere, because 20 years from now, those shirts are going to go for about $100,000 a piece.
Do that with those Truck Talk shirts, too.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you that much. You freaking negative Nancy, you don't know anything over there. You don't know anything.
Those shirts are collector's items, Blake. So
Sounds like
Thank
we're
you,
going to have
Chili.
some clearance merchandise items at the race
well,
coming
Blake
up.
throws everything away. He doesn't know about collector's items.
I do throw a lot of things away.
Biscuit, I want to give you the opportunity to talk about your post that you made just about 45 minutes ago. I thought that was a really
This is a heck of a time for that.
meaningful post. So I just want to give you, at some point, I want to give you the opportunity to share about that.
You mean you guys are going to let women talk on the podcast today?
Yes, of
not been
course.
inaugurated yet.
Of course, boo-boo. Actually, our
January
viewers and
20th.
our viewers and listeners actually like you more than the rest of us.
That's not true. That's really sweet, but that's not true.
January 20th, shut your mouth.
90% of our YouTube audience is white men ages 35 to 55. They do not prefer me over you guys.
You know what's an interesting observation that I've made over the last course of however long history has been that we can study?
Chili.
Okay, over the course of American history, behind almost every single act of greed, act of evil, act of corruption, behind every single evil act, there is a middle-aged white man with pasty skin in a suit.
What?
Yeah. But behind every act of evil, there's a middle-aged or older white man with pasty skin and soft hands in a suit.
Soft hands.
Yeah. You remember the other day when we were watching that documentary where the big corporations were trying to come in and build a big gondola into the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember in the courtroom who was advocating for
Big nose, pasty white, soft hand men.
in a suit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whoa, don't big nose. Don't be.
They were all
Don't be
big
racist.
noses. They all had big noses. I'm not trying to say nothing about people with big noses. Actually, you know what it means if you have a big nose?
What
Anti-Semite.
What the crap is wrong with white people? White people have destroyed the freaking earth, man.
That's right.
White people have destroyed the earth.
Good thing corn's red.
Yeah. I mean, have you guys not noticed this? Behind every bit of corruption or evil, there's a daggone white man in a suit. Like steering the daggone ship.
Yeah.
White people are the scum of the freaking earth, man. They have come in here. They have cut down all the stinking woods. They have built their machines and their houses and their technology. And they have come in and they have massacred
All the white-tailed deer.
native populations. They've come in here and created all these freaking rules and crap. They are the scum of the earth, man. Observation I have for y'all today.
I've hated white people for years.
Wow.
I just haven't had the balls
Yeah.
to say it.
Go into a courtroom. What is it? A bunch of pasty old freaking white men in suits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what's funny about these
What if you go into a courtroom in Colombia?
I'm talking about America here, cornbread. But there's probably the same pasty white guys down in Colombia trying to do the same thing, all right?
Okay.
You know, the nasty whites also keep Walmart in business.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's just sickening.
Yeah.
Well, what if you go to a market in Kenya? There's a bunch of whites.
Well, we don't have to worry about corn being one of those. He's too red.
What nationality is corn?
What did you say you are?
Corn's Norwegian.
Navajo.
Iceland? Didn't you say you're Icelandic?
Navajo.
Corn's a Native American now.
Navajo.
You know something else interesting that I learned, Chili? You talk about the law a lot. Do you know who President Roosevelt was?
Theo or Delano?
Theo.
The Colombian.
Yes.
Theodore.
Yes.
Okay, you heard of Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Did you know that he was he basically idolized who was the guy that was during the Civil War the president?
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. Did you know that Theodore Roosevelt pretty much idolized Abraham Lincoln?
I know that what I've read of Theodore Roosevelt, I don't like him.
Yeah.
And he gets a lot of praise.
Yeah.
He was a Federalist.
So does Lincoln.
It's really strange. It really is. Yes, both of them get a lot of praise, and they've been
The bull moose.
they've been basically like lifted up in history as these great figures. But
They're on the dang Mount Rushmore. They're half of Mount.
Whoa.
They're 50% of Mount Rushmore.
the reason that Theodore Roosevelt liked Abraham Lincoln and studied his work and his memoirs and all of his writings so much is because there were multiple occasions during the conflict that's called the Civil War where Abraham Lincoln basically just made the law null and void so that he could do whatever he thought needed to be done. And he would do it under the guise of the fact that it was, or under the guise of his notion that it was benefiting the people. And so Theodore Roosevelt, during his presidency, there was a big strike that happened between the coal miners union and the owners of the coal mines. All right? We all know what a strike is. We just had one the other day between at the shipping port, right?
Yeah.
So during his presidency, they couldn't come to an agreement because the owners, these big guys that owned these coal mines, they were not willing to even talk to the union. And so the country's in this crisis, right? Where they're like, oh, well, crap, we need coal. And we're not getting it because they can't come to an agreement. Well, Theodore Roosevelt basically arrived to the conclusion that he was going to use the U.S. Army to go and take over those coal mines and take those coal mines from the men who owned them and federalize them, the coal mines, and make all of the coal mine workers federal employees. He had decided he had no authority to do that. There was no that was against the law, basically, for the federal government to come in and say, hey, we're taking your corporation from you and we're making this now a part of the U.S. government. Screw you, man. Like, this was your business. This was your corporation. This was your coal mine. No, it's not yours anymore. It belongs to the government now. And he was going to use the U.S. Army to make that happen. Because, again, all things run off of who can wield the most violence, right? So he needed the U.S. Army, obviously, to do that. But I just thought it was interesting that the government can, anytime they want, just null and void any law. Constitutional law, it doesn't matter what. Theodore Roosevelt even said, the Constitution is an important thing, but it's not as important as the needs of the people. In other words, he was willing to override the Constitution, make it null and void, and act against it in order to do what he thought was best for the people. And that's why I loved Abraham Lincoln so much, is because Abraham Lincoln did the exact same thing.
What ended up happening with the coal mine deal?
When Theodore came to the owners of the coal mines and he told them what he was about to do, they then made an agreement with the Union. And then shortly after that, Theodore spent, it sounds like, the rest of his presidency going after all of the biggest business owners in the country, like J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, I think, was one, and just taking them down. So,
Wow.
I don't know, man. I just thought I thought it was wild that they could just override the law. They write the law, right? They make the legislation that then becomes the laws that we have to abide by. But then they can just, when it doesn't fit what they think needs to be done, they just say, "Oh no, we're going to forget about that." Nah. Right? But it makes sense because the only people that could hold them accountable are citizens. And if they're placating to a large portion of citizenship by overriding the law, then that's not going to happen.
Right, yeah. By making all those other people comfortable by getting the coal mines back up and operating, they'll forget whatever tragic things happened that it took to get them going
Yep.
very quickly. The
Yeah.
only people that's going to be upset is the people that own the coal mines and probably the people that were in the union that are now federal employees. And that'll get forgot about pretty quick.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a really interesting fact I wanted to share with everybody
And
today.
everybody loves to see the rich man go down anyhow,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, I can't. Do you know anything about this, Chili?
Well, I know that if the same entity that makes the law, reviews the law, enforces the law, and negates the law, then you have a problem. And that's the way it's been in America for a very, 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 very long time.
Yeah.
And that's only not been super evident to everybody because of it not being overstepped to the point that you notice it. But that's the way it's always been. That's the way it currently is, and that's a problem. You don't live in a true republic when that's the case.
You've said it before. All of these things that we like to, our use as our battle cry, our constitutional rights.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of words on a piece of paper, man. Like, again, I'm a firm believer that whoever can wield the most violence can do what they want. Just words on a paper, man. That's all it is. So, wanted to share that little piece of information that I learned with you guys from watching a documentary the other day.
I have a picture hanging in our hallway of my great. I always get this wrong. It's either my great great or my great 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 granddad hunting with the Roosevelt. They were coon hunting.
Not Theodore, though, right?
I think it was FDR.
Yeah.
No relation.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Isn't it cool? Have you ever seen it?
No, I think I remember you telling me about
It's on
it.
the hallway on the way to our bedroom. But they had treed a possum. And
Yep.
so my grandpa, great, 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 whatever.
It was
he-
great, boo-boo.
I think it is great,
Yeah.
great. He's holding the
Great would be
flashlight,
too long.
and FDR's in the car looking
Because he was
up.
crippled.
Yeah,
Polio.
Yep.
yeah. It's really cool.
What was he doing taking him hunting?
It was in Pine Mountain, Georgia, where the little White House is. I guess Roosevelt spent a lot of time there.
Yeah, then
and-
Springs. Yeah, he got in them Springs for his polio.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The
Well,
Warm Springs.
that's where my family's like my grandma's side, my dad's side is all from Pine Mountain, Georgia.
Wow,
So they used to coon hunt. Yep.
That's cool.
Good story.
You know, the last known mountain lion in Georgia was killed in Pine Mountain, Georgia.
There's a bunch of jokers saying that there's mountain lions up here off 411 in Cartersville. I say it's. You remember Darren getting on about that?
I don't, but I've heard those rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of our friends sent us a picture not long ago and was like, "Look at this mountain lion," and it was a bobcat.
Well, on our community page, there's people all the time posting pictures of house cats on their deer cameras, their trail cameras, and saying, "Look at this massive bobcat," and it's just a house cat all the time.
Big boy.
The guy that owns the bait shop down the street from us, Jerry, his family's lived in the valley for a really long time, and he says there's black panthers out there.
Of course there are.
If y'all see one, you let me know.
Yeah.
But he said you'll never see it. But they're
They're
there.
there though.
That's like Bigfoot, ain't it?
Yeah, they're there. For sure.
If I said I'm gonna bust his tail.
It'd be too late if you see him.
Yeah, Corn, you're scared to pull the trigger, man.
Come on now.
Well, let's talk a little bit about hunting right now.
Oh, God.
You know,
Jeez.
hunting really makes everything harder. Have you ever noticed that? Hunting makes everything harder.
Yeah, it makes everything else aggravating to have to deal with.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Hunting makes everything in life harder because
Stop looking at me when you're talking about this.
when it is the rut or hunting season in general, you so don't want to be doing anything else that when you are doing anything else other than hunting, you're just kind of just ticked off about it.
Right. Yeah. Hunting only comes in a certain part of the year. You can do all that other mess the rest of the year, which is a longer time frame than when
Way
hunting
longer
comes.
time.
Yeah.
Because really, the deer hunting season is really only about a month.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if you want to get you a nice buck,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Look, Chad's 13 days behind on his receipts, and I ain't even asked him once to upload them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shut this unit down in hunting season. All right.
The office.
Well,
don't
I
even
mean, we
smell like
do throw a
fart.
race in the middle of it.
Well,
Nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. How did that happen?
You were out of town, and you wasn't here to keep Brooke in check on the things she does, and she had run amok.
Here's your chance to promote it, Brooke.
We're not able to keep her,
The
down like you do.
Last day to sign up.
The chill dog was there when I said that's like the rut, and Brooke would just turn her head and just mosey on. Well, what if we put the truck over here? What if we put a food truck right here? Well, what about the rut, Brooke? Well, I was thinking about having camping.
oh,
Ain't
my
that how it
gosh.
went, Chili?
Screw all y'all.
Yeah.
Screw all y'all.
I mean,
You got it down how to keep her.
I'm really thankful we're having the race and we have like 230 people coming out to run.
Well,
That's
no, you got today to sign up. It may be 250.
well, yeah. There's only
Corn's gonna
20.
do something.
There's only 20 spots left.
But Corn's having a fit. He says we don't have enough space for parking. So we might be cutting it off like here shortly.
Well,
Yeah, midnight, sign up.
Corn would have a plan.
Chad said they can park them.
Corn would have a really good plan for parking if you would not have planned this race right in the middle of the rut.
Shut up.
He's doing it to be spiteful.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, he would have that parking squared away for sure. We've had a pretty good season so far. Blake, Young B, tagged out. Son, his season's over.
No, one of them I shot was in Alabama.
Oh, Young
Nice.
B is tagged out. Season is over, son.
Be in the stand this evening. Catch me outside.
Good night.
Got a big boy behind the house.
So, Blake, how'd your hunt go this morning?
It went good. Yeah, it went real good. It's real windy this morning, though.
You decided to get out of the stand.
Yeah, I got down and stalked once Chili revealed his location. I knew he wasn't out there AWOL.
You waited till 10?
Well,
Well,
close to it.
Chili's a stalk hunter too.
Well, I know I didn't
Yeah.
want to run into him out there.
Well, I'm not going to sit still.
But it was getting it this morning. I bet it was probably 25 mile an hour up there. I mean, my whole tree was just every direction blowing around. So I decided I was going to get down and stalk right up on a doe. And me and Corn, he's taught me some ninja tactics, how to move quiet and really slip in on deer. Corn red. And, I slipped in on a doe, boy, sit down. About 3 minutes later, she was upwind from me. Here come that buck right over the ridge. He probably wasn't but 30 yards or something, nose to the ground. Tried to grunt at him to stop him. He wouldn't stop. Had to pop him on the move. He did that old mule kick, you know.
Oh, really?
He jumped up, did that mule kick, ran about 15 yards, and he was down.
Nice.
Down
That's
hard.
a good hunt, man.
Dad come out and help me skin it. I can't tell you when the last time I've skinned a deer with Dad is.
Long time.
I was glad he came and hunt.
Yeah, Dad hunted for the first time this morning in probably 8 or 9 years.
And
Yeah.
his neck didn't fall off.
Yeah, he didn't see a single deer.
No, but he said he was going to go back in the morning if it
That's
wasn't
what he
raining.
told me. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so it was a good hunt.
So Chili, I want to hear about the hunt.
Catch you on the flip flop. Nuff said.
I want to hear about the hunt that you had the other day.
Don't be a freaking turd, man.
His 30-minute hunt?
Yeah, I want to hear about his 30-minute hunt.
Well, what about it?
Well,
I'm
mean,
not a good orator
I'm
like
trying
Blake.
to decipher the stream of unintelligible text messages that you sent.
Well, don't you understand about I saw?
It wasn't actually
What?
the right time.
I saw it wasn't actually the right time.
Had to leave.
Should have shot. Had to go.
What's undecipherable about that?
What on earth happened, man?
Well, first of all, what's undecipherable about that?
It does not tell me what happened.
I saw,
What?
should have shot,
Why didn't you?
had to go.
Why'd you have to go? See what I'm saying? It
And
makes
what
no
did you
sense.
see?
Yeah, I already asked that question.
No.
Cornred.
No. You said, did you see deer? I saw. What happened? Should have shot. Then what? Had to go. Oh, no, sorry. Why didn't you? Then what? Had to go. That was the. We had a conversation, bub.
What happened on that hunt, man? Because you weren't in there long, so something big had to
It
happen.
wasn't great. It wasn't great, but hey, wasn't the right time.
Y'all know he's still a newlywed, so when the sun starts going down, there's a magnetic pull happening.
It wasn't the right
from his,
time.
From his loins.
I had
You know
told
what I mean?
Corn that I was. I had told Corn that I had to go beforehand.
Yeah, you did allow that.
Have
before.
y'all seen how good looking Courtney is? You wouldn't stay in a stand if you had just married her. You would go home. Whoa. I'm just saying. That's your answer. You're
I had
welcome.
to go. I saw.
Did you have a shot?
Yeah,
But you didn't shoot.
not the right time.
Was it a buck?
Not the right time.
Was it a
It was a
squirrel?
buck.
All right, here's the text. Chili, did you get out of the woods? Did you see any? 6:36 at 7:15. It's done well after dark, and everybody's worried to death. Like, has he fallen out
You
of the
actually had
stand?
to reach out to his wife to
Yeah.
see if he was okay.
Well,
Yeah.
that's just retarded. But
no, that's safety. That's because we care about you.
He don't
Chili.
know about hunting
Safety.
etiquette and things like that. He'll learn. He's maturing. So 7:15, he says, "Yeah, I saw." And Chad said, "What deer did you see, guy?" He said, "One I should have shot." And I said, "Well, why didn't you?" He said, "Wasn't actually the right time." And then everybody was saying like, "What?" Question mark. What's going on? And he said, "Yeah." Corn said, "Was it a buck?" And Chad said, "Chili, you are something else, buddy." Brooke said, "You didn't hunt but an hour," and he said, "I had to go." Now that was the communication.
So was it a buck?
Also, what about Riz?
I like that button.
All right. Cornbread, you've had a pretty good season so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
You killed 2 public land bucks.
Yeah. One down the Flint River in Dooley County, and then one right there by the house. Yeah. One was a quota hunt. The first one, the Flint River, was a quota hunt. Mm-hmm. They call it trophy deer only. In the state of Georgia, it's considered a trophy by the DNR if it has at least 4 points on one side that are an inch or longer, or a 15-inch outside spread. This one had 4 on one side, an inch longer. Then I killed a little bitty old pesky thing on the Paulden Forest.
Yeah, what happened there?
I went in, me and Buck went in, sat down a hunting that morning, Friday morning, and he come through just being pesky, running around like he was the king dog, and just wouldn't leave. So I said, well, I'd hunted Thursday. You know how you take your time and say my hours are equal to $30,000? Well, I take my days, and they're equal to deer lives. So I had hunted Thursday all day long, so that was 3 deer's life that the woods owes me. So on Friday morning, I said I ain't coming back this weekend, and that was a stake tag. The stake tagged that a buck for you, so you didn't have to use one of your tags. And I said, well, I ain't coming back. About to leave. So I went ahead and busted him. Hit him about 30 yards with that 30-06. Just dropped him in his tracks.
You hunting with 30-06?
Yeah. Now I shot that deer at the Flint River with a 308.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you do with that little buck after you harvested him?
I took him down to there's a processor in Aragon that I'm trying out. And you know how Aragon is. He just opened up this year.
What's wrong with Aragon?
It's pretty methed up.
You're definitely going to get the squirt.
Is it?
That's probably what's wrong with you. Have you been eating that deer meat from that fella?
No, I ain't got it back yet.
Your eyes got wide.
Yeah.
Aragon's rough, man.
Right.
Is Pinions back open?
Not that I know of.
You're so good.
Not that I know of.
What county is Aragon in?
Polk
County.
County.
Yeah.
So I took him down there.
Polk County, Tennessee, pretty rough too.
There is a Polk County, Tennessee, and it ain't.
You had a pretty good hunt this morning, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, had a real good hunt. Seen 7 total deer.
Who told you where to hunt this morning?
You did, bud. I appreciate it. I appreciate you putting a strap on that stand, too.
Yep.
Yeah. He broke the map out, Blake, and showed me on the map where the stand was.
That was good of him.
Yeah, that was real nice of him.
Mm-hmm.
Went right to it, bud.
Yeah.
But seen 2 does just right after daylight walking the creek bottom
Behind you.
behind me. Yeah. Then seen a big old cow horn spike. Blake said y'all hadn't seen him.
I told you that was a good sign, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah.
And then Blake shot his. He texted me, said, I'm going to have to come through there. I said, well, go for it. And he come through there, and when he got down in that creek bottom, he pushed a doe and a nice buck out. I can't tell you what he might score, how many points, because he was running about Mach 52 across that hill.
Oh, so you think he pushed those deer out that way?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I said that he was running that doe, but he was going where that doe was going to go.
You think they were in the creek bottom though, right? Not like I pushed them from that way.
They come from that way. Just right as Blake probably sounded like he was getting up in your field, here they come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I seen 2 does later on, about 10:40ish, I guess.
And so now you've claimed that as your spot, right?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because Blake did mention that you wanted to move to stand, which was a good choice. And when we went to where you wanted to move to stand, we found some Mac Daddy scrapes.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah.
They ain't covered with leaves. They ain't covered with pines. They fresh.
Okay.
Fresh.
But let's not forget who told you to hunt that stand first, Corn.
Now Blake did tell me to hunt that stand the other week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I done been knowing that was a good spot.
Yeah. He even
knowing it.
He even gave me a strap to put up on there. He did.
I've been knowing that's a good spot.
Corn is the weirdest hunter, man. He does the weirdest crap.
What I
Corn
do,
does.
bud?
He's like, the other day we was supposed to go hunt, and we're like, Corn, you in the stand yet? He's like, no, there's some deer out here in this field, and I didn't want to walk out there. I wanted to let them move on before I went down into my stand.
He's real respectful of a deer.
He'll just do the weirdest stuff, man.
I didn't want him to booger up and go crazy and freak out. No, I was there. What if there was a bunk amongst them and they would like, oh yeah, I'm gonna slip back through this country. But no, don't do that. Some fat guy in an orange vest went walking through there a while ago.
Corn, they're not like people that see a threat and they call up their buddy and be like, you saw them deer, they come right
No,
back.
they're actually the opposite. They have to survive. Like they're in 100% survival
But they
mode.
don't have the ability to do those things.
He's moving into a fit again.
Corn also loses all ability of navigation when he goes into the woods. He just kind of meanders around until he sees a stand or a spot, and he's like, I think I'll just sit right here.
I was worried about him this morning because I told him exactly where that stand was at, and I was thinking he's never going to even find this thing. But
Well, I told him about that one at the field.
yeah,
And you know what he did? He walked all the way to that rock outcrop, way over there, like Big Daddy's Hollow.
Yeah.
He walked way to the rocks there and then backtracked back down and cut somewhere across some road, and he finally just happened up on it because he had done walked every inch of that land there.
I went and I took a right out of the creek, and I followed that road all the way around, and it come up to a split like this. So I took the left, and it took me right to that buddy stand. I walked right by a big old rusted out barrel that used to be a feeder. And that's how I went.
Yeah.
My land association got ganked up in there starting last year.
yeah.
When Blake told me how to go to that thing on the four-wheeler, and I'd got used to riding through the orchard, around the edge of the orchard. So then dropping off, like going behind the gong and all that, it's like got my mind just messed up.
Yeah.
So when I see that first big hill, I think just drop off the side, and then there's the where I'm supposed to be at. But it just, that road swings way further to the right than what I'm realizing. So then when I get down in the bottom, I'm like, I ain't in the right spot.
Yeah, you get lost big time.
You went all the way to Buffalo Creek.
Yeah, he will.
Did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get deep. I do get deep. You're
Oh,
right.
especially on that pinhoti.
Believe that.
Well, I have definitely killed the biggest buck this year so far.
I don't know. Nobody saw this buck other than you.
Yeah, you saw the picture of it, Blake.
Well, okay. I can take a picture of Corn state buck and make it look like a darn monster.
I have killed the biggest buck this year.
What'd you do with the horns of it?
A European mount.
Up from the processor?
Yeah.
Antlers.
Yeah. Look, man. It's so funny to me that now that Blake is all into deer hunting and his cameras. He comes over to the house the other day. He's like, look at this, Chad. Look at this camera right here. It tells you the moon phases, and it tells you how many pictures it would take, and then it tells you that look at this, a waxing crescent. Look at how many pictures was taken right here. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? So so
Hot in here.
now that Blake is all he's just a full bore deer hunter. He likes to
I
tell
have thoroughly enjoyed deer hunting this year.
he likes to tell me where I should be hunting. And then when I tell him where I'm going to hunt, he like scoffs at me like
I'm the one who said y'all ought to hunt that buddy stand where you killed that buck.
Blake, I knew about that, Bubba.
No, you
I
didn't.
knew about that.
No, you didn't. You
Yeah, I
used
did.
the information I give you to kill that buck.
So-
You're welcome.
You know,
Bub?
I told him the other day, he was trying to tell me, you need to go over here and hunt. I said, Blake, are you seriously telling me where I need to go hunt? You've only been deer hunting for 2 years. And he wants to tell me where I go and hunt. If you ever walk into my house, there is a display of trophy bucks in that daggone bookshelf, and that ain't even all of them.
Okay.
There is a display like you ain't never seen of bucks. All right? I have killed the biggest bucks, the most bucks for the longest time of any of y'all. So don't nobody ever tell me where to hunt. Okay?
Who's killed the biggest buck off that property?
It don't
Who
matter.
has? Hold on. Who's the reigning?
I don't know.
Who's killed the biggest buck?
I don't know. We
Right
haven't
there.
measured
It's
it.
right there. That's the biggest one killed.
Well, it might be, but
It is. Now you can't be up in Virginia and
Look.
say I've killed bigger.
look at that buck right there.
Yeah, you wasn't
That-
even supposed to kill that one.
That's a way bigger buck than that right there. I killed that with a compound bow.
Okay, you go hunt out in Kansas and you say I killed a bigger buck than someone in North Georgia.
Nah, I was hunting woods when I killed that buck.
Yeah. Woods we can't speak of.
So, don't nobody ever tell me where I should freaking hunt at, all right? I am going to kill more bucks and bigger bucks than y'all ever will kill, okay? And look, I see
Trying to rile me up.
I see bucks. I see bucks almost every time I hunt that are bigger than the deer y'all have ever killed.
It's freaking working.
Cornred. You want to get him.
Nearly every hunt, I see bucks that are bigger than the biggest bucks y'all have killed, and I let them walk. Okay? So that's the level I'm
You
at.
ain't never let a buck walk like either one of them.
Yeah, buddy.
Not
I've let
not in
bucks.
here.
I've let bucks walk like that this season.
No, you haven't.
I have,
You're
too,
so
Bubba.
full of crap.
Guarantee you, I have.
Yeah.
So
You're good, huh? You're a good deer hunter. I give you that.
yeah, ain't
You
nobody.
ain't as
gonna-
good as you think you are,
Ain't
but you're
nobody
good.
gonna deer hunt like me. I can go anywhere and kill a nice buck. It don't matter. So I just wanted to remind y'all that I've killed the biggest buck this season. If one of y'all kills a bigger one than I killed, I'll just go and kill an even bigger one. Okay. It's that easy.
Okay.
So I wanted to remind y'all of that.
You ain't killed a bigger buck than Cornred.
You ain't killed a public land buck, period. You ain't never even killed a public land buck. The does I hunt on public land smarter than that buck right there. The does. The yearling does.
You know why I don't?
Yearling does. Public land.
It worked.
Look, cornbread. I ain't poor enough to hunt public land, Bubba. Sorry about that.
Good night.
Wait till he kills that pine straw buck.
That bug right there is gonna die.
I know it, yeah.
I mean, I hope you do kill him because he's looking poorly.
Manfred Kampf just invited us to go moose hunting up in Canada.
That's what I want to do. Either moose or brown bear hunt. Oh, God. Yeah.
I don't care nothing about killing another bear.
You wouldn't want to kill a brown bear?
No, I don't like the meat. I
Yeah.
don't like the meat.
You know, a lot of them, they don't even eat them.
What do they do? Give them to the brown people
Oh,
up there?
man, they just take the the hide. And
I
the
mean, like
skull.
the native people.
Because they say they taste so rough because of all the fish and salmon and stuff they eat.
Huh.
Yeah.
So they just kill it, not even for the meat.
That's wrong.
Yeah, I can't do that,
Yeah.
man.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
I thought you were Navajo. Navajos wouldn't do that.
I have a bloodthirst that you can't even imagine.
It's a bloodlust.
No, thirst.
It's a lust.
Thirst.
Well, I have a bloodlust.
Thirst. I don't lust for nothing.
No, I'd like to go on a moose hunt too. I've actually been following this guy on Instagram that he does he's got a outfitter in the Yukon, on the Yukon River, and they
That'd be
kill
awesome.
some monster moose. We can go if y'all want to go. We'll go.
Man, that's high dollar. That's high dollar.
Don't worry about that, Corn.
That's big. That's big money, son.
Yeah, don't worry about
That'd be
that.
about
Bubba.
$8,000 just to start.
Oh, I thought you were gonna have to. You were gonna need to say add a 0 to that to even make him blink,
Yeah.
bub.
Really, Corn. Give me a break, Bubba. Don't come on this podcast poor mouthing.
It's reality. That's a lot of money to go a hunting
$8,000.
just to start. Yeah, not even counting if you kill
Are you
it,
serious,
getting the head
dude?
back. Yeah,
I just paid almost $8,000 to go paddle down the river.
yeah. Are we talking about sane stuff or insanity? we went from hunting to insanity.
I'm gonna get you thinking bigger one of these days, Corn. Well, Biscuit, I really want to turn it over to you. I want to hear from you.
Gosh.
How's your season been?
She did go hunting.
Yeah,
the other
Biscuit's
day.
hunting one time.
What'd you
She
say?
enjoyed it. She likes to hunt.
Allow about it.
I just enjoy sitting in the quiet. That's it. What are y'all whispering about? Yeah. What do you want to know, babe?
I want to know about the post that you made today because it was a very thoughtful post.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and you've made so much progress this year. And as I tell you quite often, on a serious note, you have the most beautiful heart of any other human that I know in my life. And you've made so much progress this year. So I just wanted you to share the kind of the thought behind the post you made. And
Yeah, I mean, the thought behind the post, the reason for it is always just because I feel like I feel called to share my journey with just the ups and downs of the anxiety and panic and just the things that seem to plague me, for years. And I think each time it comes, I get better. And this year has been a big turning point for me. Mainly, like in the post, what I said was I'm trying to reframe stress. Like I've just noticed the last few years, I have done a lot and removed a lot of things from my life to avoid stress. Like if I couldn't control something or I couldn't know what was coming, I would avoid it. And earlier this year, I just got really low. We did an episode about it. And so I just kind of flipped that, and things that I was concerned would bring me stress, I started doing them on purpose. And a lot of times it did make me really stressed. And then a lot of times it didn't make me stressed at all, even though I thought it would. And I had incredible experiences. So that was I just wanted to share that and hope that if somebody is in a place that they're struggling, they think they're not capable of doing whatever it is they want to do that matches their values, that they would push through that and do it anyway. Because it's worked for me. Even though it's, again, I think I thought when someone started saying that, like, do the things that scare you, it'll be good for you. I thought that meant when I did them, it would feel good. But that's not always true.
yeah,
But it's always better for you in the end. So I've said yes to how many trips have we been on together this year? So we've traveled so much. I hate traveling. Done competitions, signed up for more competitions next year.
you've won competitions.
I won a competition, yeah. So just all the things I would never do a year ago. You couldn't pay me to go compete as an adult because it was just too much.
Yeah, you're just a totally different person. Like, I just wanted to acknowledge how much progress you've made this year.
Well, thanks, Boo.
It's been pretty magnificent.
Well, thank you.
Praise the Lord for it.
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely broken me down, and I'm grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Life
Yeah.
is good, though. Life is really good.
And I guess for me, it's so impactful to see it and to see the progress you're making because I've been with you, and I can think back on when things were really tough for you. Like when I think back from that one time we flew to Salt Lake City, and like it was just like you weren't in a place you could even handle it. And then to now, like our last trip that we took to San Antonio, just like, holy crap, totally different.
And all it was a mindset shift. Nothing else has changed. But it's a practice, so I'm just getting better at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a practice, and I also don't think that it's something that you consider like a cure either.
I morbidly expect to have more low seasons in my life.
Yeah.
Like I anticipate that to come because it has come every few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I kind of just I'm just kind of trying to like envision when and if that does come, you know, the depression or whatever, I have a low season for whatever reason, that like I can handle it. And I've proven to myself that even if I do feel really bad internally, I can still choose to do the things that are important to me anyway. Because my body and my brain, when I'm struggling, just tell me you're not capable of anything. Like you can't plan a 3 of 7 event. You can't show up well at work. You can't be a good wife. You can't even like you don't even need to leave the house to go hang out with your friends. You know, just those voices in my head get really loud. And yeah, it's just been a really, really neat season. And yeah, I'm just really grateful. And then we have the race coming up Saturday. That'll be huge and like just a cool moment to be there on that day. Because I was scared to do that too. Because when we started that race, I wasn't very far out of that hard season earlier this year. So I was like, committing to this now is probably not a good idea for me. Like I probably need to be more gentle on myself and give myself more time to heal. And then I was like, nah, just do it. It's for other people. Like just do it. And it's been great.
So for somebody that just heard that and they think, oh, wow, I need to, or I want to apply this same technique, this same training technique in my own life, like how does that start? Or how did it start for you? Or you see what I'm saying? Like what's the first step? You start really small with like little stuff, or do you just jump into something big that scares the crap out of you? Or
I started smaller. But I definitely initially chose things that scared me really bad. But I did start small and just start building. But I mean, I don't think it matters. And I think when people hear this, and because of who we are as a brand, they envision like, oh, you need to go sign up for 100-miler. Oh, you need to do hike the Appalachian Trail or do a solo backpacking trip or like something just epic. And for me, those, you know, when you're feeling really down and low, choosing to go to my parents' house and help them move a mattress was like, it was a hard thing for me. Does that make sense? It's like, or entering into a new friendship with somebody, or like, I don't know. It's the little things that I started with that built up my confidence. So yeah, it's just... It's resilience. It's really resilience. Like choose what you want to do.
I think another interesting part of your journey, though, that's unique is a lot of it revolved around your diet and exercise.
Well, yeah, I fell into the trap that a lot of people are falling into, which is I love control. Control makes me feel safe. And so I dove headfirst into like having this fancy doctor that did all this blood work and monitoring, and my Whoop that told me how I slept every night and what my HRV was. And I, you know, tracked every workout. ate perfect. I got sleep. I never did anything that would mean my sleep would be messed up for too long. Like I felt like the sauna, cold plunge, like I optimized everything. And when that started to peak, I was miserable. So it's just, I think some people can use those things and those tools well, but I'm obsessive and I'm a perfectionist, and those things are not for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that your health and fitness and sleep and food and all that, yeah, that stuff is important. But I think a lot of people get to the point where they believe that they can't feel good if all of those things aren't perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You talk about choosing baby steps at first. This is going to sound really silly, but when I was first coming out of that hard season, I avoided sugar. I was very like, no sugar. The sugar's bad for you. Sugar's going to make me feel bad. It's going to mess up my gains at the gym. So I started forcing myself every day at lunch to get a dessert.
I remember that.
And
a cookie.
It upset me so much. Every time I did it, I was like, just my brain was just telling me all the reasons why this was a terrible idea. And I did it until those voices quieted down. And that's just been the succession. I choose something that my mind tells me is a really bad idea. And there's always an urgency about it. You know what I mean? Like, if you do this, it's going to be really bad. And so I just keep picking those things and doing them over and over and over until I'm not reacting so much to them anymore. And then I go to the next thing.
Yeah. And I think you also learn that, well, I can eat a freaking cookie and feel fine. Like
I'm in better shape right now.
Yeah,
than
you're
I've ever
stronger
been.
than you've ever been.
Yeah.
Or you're starting to realize, like, oh, I can have a bad night's sleep and get up the next morning and still perform.
Yep. And I can be really stressed because of something really cool I want to do, and it's still a good thing. Like, I feel like a lot of the things you teach revolve around that concept of, like, we don't get much of any really good experiences without stress. Like, what really cool thing can you choose to go do or experience that doesn't have stress to get there? You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's a business thing or it's like a fitness goal or it's a relationship thing. It's like when you take chances and you push past your limits, it is going to stress you out and make you feel bad. But I'm working on reframing stress because I hate feeling bad.
Yeah.
But I need to get over it. And yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. I thought it's a perspective that I think is greatly overlooked because, you know, we're usually on the side of telling people, like, no, don't eat a cookie.
Yeah.
Like, no, you have to get good sleep. Like, do all of these things, right? But we live in this strange environment where that has become so these health things and devices and practices have become so mainstream that now it's like there's this whole other side of the message that needs to be said now. It's like, no, you're actually self-destructing your own life because you are becoming too obsessed with how healthy you should be. And that's because of healthcare and technology and all the studies and you know the podcasts that propagate those messages, which, by the way, it's not their intention to make you feel obsessed about your health. It's just the people. I mean, one of our a guy that we both like, Dr. Huberman, he loves that subject, and that's all he wants to talk about because that's his passion in life, right?
Right.
But people can take that and just become obsessed over everything that they could and should be doing.
Yeah.
And they're just self-destructing their lives.
I agree. I think that most people living in this day have a void in their hearts because we're not living at all the way we should be living. like just the friction and the struggle. Like even meals. When we were camping this past weekend, I told Kelsey we were getting wood together for the fire and we were all starving. We'd been hiking all day, but we wanted to build the fire first. And I was so hungry. And I was just thinking, like, back in the day, probably what, late 1800s, I would say, people enjoyed every single meal like that. Like there wasn't, does that make sense?
Yeah, because it took so much effort to attain the food. And then even to cook it, even just the process of cooking it. You had to build a fire.
Yes.
Like,
well, just living, like gardening. And like, I think in my life, there is a void of like, where do I put all this energy I have? Does that make sense? Then that, for me, that can easily fall into these weird obsessions about it happened with health and wellness. So I just have to be vigilant for that. But I do think a lot of people are caught on that hamster wheel of optimizing their bodies, optimizing their lifespan. And I think it's really cool in moderation. But man, it can become all consuming and be really disappointing. Like super disappointing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those things are not as important as we think they are. You know what I mean? It's
what about all the centenarians that have never touched a sauna or cold plunge in their life, and they've been drinking whiskey and Dr. Pepper and eating buttermilk biscuits? Like, how did they survive so long without ever doing a cold plunge?
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
It's crazy.
Well, because that's a scam.
You think cold plunging is a scam?
Yeah, I've said it for the entirety of the time we've ever talked about it. Sleep and diet is about all you can try to do right, but all the other stuff is a scam.
I lean more on the side of chili on that. And I know there's a ton of research that's went into it and whatever that means and
whatever that means.
But I tend to be more on the side of chili about that. And you know how what usually makes me lean more toward, okay, this is a scam, is when something like a cold plunge, like all of a sudden gets really popular and there's this laundry list of things that it helps with. I mean, I was just talking to the grass cutters today and they're like, we're trying to get a cold plunge in the firehouse because a sauna and a cold plunge in the firehouse because when we get off of a fire, if we do the sauna and the cold plunge, it gets all those carcinogens out of our system. And like they read that somewhere in a study, like, you know what I mean? And so when you look at something like a cold plunge, it's like, oh yeah, this helps cure 100 different things. Like you name it. Oh, you should cold plunge.
You got a red face, cold plunge.
Yeah, I mean you got poison ivy, cold plunge. Like, I'm like, okay, this, no, dude. Like you're sitting in cold water. Like maybe it does one or two things.
What do you think drives that? Like
money.
But no, I'm saying like you could Google anything right now. Health benefits of lavender essential oil. Health benefits of spinach. Health benefits of cold plunge. Health benefits of deer antler velvet. Like, and like you said, it would pop up with these articles of like just list after list of all these great things. Like, what is that targeting in us? Is it like our want to live better or not die, or like what?
Both our desire to always feel good and our desire for immortality.
Yeah, your ability to control what's going on with yourself.
Yeah, but money...
And it'd be easy, too, because if one thing could do all those things, then it's really easy to do that. Like, if it was too complicated, if you had to go through 80 steps to achieve that, that wouldn't be as appealing if you could just cold plunge and then you'll never have the flu anymore, and then your A1C will drop, and then your... I mean, really, then if it's just one thing, then it's really good.
Just drip some of that lavender oil down your spine. It'll clear you of everything.
And you know what's funny about the cold plunge? We keep referencing this because it's become so big. It's huge. And, we talk about what's driving it. Well, what's driving it from the industry side is money. I mean, there's these companies are selling hundreds of thousands of these cold tubs at $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a pop. I mean,
and you could just sit in your bathtub with some ice.
they're literally making unbelievable
That
amounts of
wouldn't
money.
make a good Instagram video, Chili.
True.
But then you see
Weird.
you also see people that I believe. I mean, I see them posting on social media and stuff saying, "Oh, I started doing the cold plunge every morning, and it's like changed my life, and it makes me feel so much better." And I'm like, I believe this guy, but I believe that he thinks he feels so much better because he's doing this cold plunge, and it's having a literal placebo effect on his mind.
That's very real.
He's creating this narrative that he is happier, healthier because he's consumed all of this research, and he's made up in his mind that this is what happens if I. That's how powerful the mind is. You talked about earlier, it was all a mindset shift, getting to where the mind is so freaking powerful.
I mean, have you heard of the nocebo effect?
No.
So there's a placebo effect where they've run plenty of, double-blind, controlled studies that show the effectiveness of the placebo effect. Sometimes, it proves that like, hey, when you think you get this thing, you actually start to see the benefits of it, even though you're not actually getting the thing. Well, the nocebo is when I don't know how exactly all of these studies have been done ethically, because there could be some questions around that. But essentially, if somebody thinks they're getting something, or it's like if they think, like you tell them they need something and then you don't give it to them, and like their body starts to deteriorate.
Yeah.
Like you see the
see what you're
physical
saying.
ailments of it, and it's just because you told them that they need something that they're now not getting, but like nothing changed other than that in their head.
Yeah.
And then they just start to like waste away sometimes. I mean, that's really weird.
It's insane how powerful the mind is.
But it goes both ways and shows that you can totally start cold plunging and it not really even be doing what you think it's doing, but well, you feel good.
There's a story, I want to look it up to get the facts right, but there's a couple stories, but there's a specific one. I think it was in maybe Greece. It was an old man, a farmer, and he got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And they were trying to get him to do all this treatment and stuff. And he was like, nah, I'm going to go back and farm. And he lived to be like 104. And like they couldn't explain it. And his family said he didn't believe he was sick. I think it was in one of those documentaries we watched. Like he didn't believe he was sick.
That basically kept the cancer at bay.
I guess I don't know what the theory was there. But I just think like what you guys are saying, the power of the mind of like, I am sick. Oh, I need this thing to be okay. Like my body is deficient in blank, so I have to have this. Like just how much that can. What about the study that girl did one time? I forgot her name. It was on the Huberman episode where they brought in these milkshakes. Did you remember this?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
It's because it's hilarious.
It's like they brought in these milkshakes to these people, and they told the people they were testing for hospitals, milkshakes they were trying out. And they had the same people, I think it was like a week separated, try the exact same milkshake. But one time they told them it was like super healthy, low sugar, low calorie. And then the next time they told them it was like super fatty, high sugar, sweet, same exact milkshake. And their blood sugar and their ghrelin levels responded based on how the researchers told them.
Is that not insane?
So it's like, it's so subconscious. It's not even something we're aware of. Like, it's mind-boggling. So there's a lot of really earthy people on Instagram. Like, there's this one lady, I think she went like 44 weeks pregnant and didn't ever go to one doctor's appointment. And like birthed her baby at home, everything. And she is like super crunchy about like, you have to believe your body is healthy no matter what. Like you need to adopt the mindset that your body is strong and like love your body. And I think people get a little woo-woo, but there also is something there. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can prove that there's something there with that my whole life, like with training and running. I mean, usually it would start because actually something would happen. Like it didn't start in my head. Like I would think, oh, I'm going to have a good race today, and then it would not go very well for whatever reason, just a physical, not feeling good. But then that would start basically every day of expecting to feel like crap and thinking, something's wrong, I'm not going to feel. And then that could last for weeks of like every single day. It's like there's really nothing wrong. I just had a bad day maybe that was real. But then that started me almost anticipating it and telling myself it's going to be, and then like feel bad for weeks even though nothing's wrong.
Yes.
That's really weird. I mean, and I think the same way with diet. Doesn't mean diet's just a fake thing, but I think a lot of people tell themselves that they're eating poorly, even if they're not eating that bad, and they'll eat, like you said, if you just have a cookie after, for dessert at lunch, just for a week, and every time they beat themselves up about it, they're probably making the effects of that way worse. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not going to have detrimental health effects, but it probably could if you were just like, good gosh, I'm going to die.
Yes. My blood sugar's probably revving at the limit right now because of this cookie. I have inflammation.
Yeah, that makes it go
spreading
up.
through my body.
Yeah.
Like envisioning all the things this cookie's doing to you. Yeah.
What can you eat now that doesn't give you inflammation?
Oh, yeah, everything.
I'm pretty sure there's nothing on the list. Maybe tofu. I don't know. Does tofu? I mean, maybe
Sure
that'll fit.
Tofu just shrinks your gonads.
It's almost literally you could research anything that you could possibly eat, and there will be someone that says it gives you inflammation.
So can I ask a question for, like, I would be curious for each of you guys. Like, we're talking about health and wellness things like diet, sleep, exercise, cold plunge, whatever. Like, because there are things I've held on to that still are really important to me. Do y'all prioritize certain things that you found have just worked really well for you? Or do y'all just let it all go loosely and don't try to stick to anything? Like, has anything worked for y'all that you saw results?
Well, I mean, I think just since we've been on the vein of the sauna and cold plunge, like I think for a while I believed that the sauna was helping me sleep better, but I don't know that it was actually doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Corn, don't you pay attention to protein in your diet?
Yeah, I was just thinking that when you said it, but so like making sure I get at least 200 grams of protein a day. And even so I cut the CrossFit down to try to help my shoulder. And even by doing that, my weight it isn't going up. It's staying and, just still slowly dropping. But like talking about being obsessive, I had to get rid of the Strava. I talked to Chili a little bit about, just watching those workouts and stuff and like obsessing. Well, this bike ride on that hill, I was 3 seconds slower, but I didn't ride 2 days ago, so I should have been 5 seconds faster. Like, what the crap's going on? And that the First Form app, which is an awesome app, but when I first got it, keeping up with that protein and those carbs and those fats, man, that like if you really do that good until you learn it, it's going to take a lot of your day up. And for like the first 3 months, I was like, holy smokes, all of a sudden, look how much time I'm just spending calculating all this food. The good thing that come out of it is I learned how to do it. So very rarely do I have to try to figure anything up. Now, like I knew today we was going to Aventine, so my breakfast was nothing but protein. So I could allow for the fat and the carbs that was coming in the burger. So it was something that good that come out of those. But yeah, the protein and just being consistent with the CrossFit, even though that I've cut it down, like I can tell when I was going 4 times a week, man, it was wearing me down big time. And when I dropped it down to 2 or 3 times, I seemed to get a little bit more. And for my shoulder, it was just obvious that that's what was wearing my shoulder out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also because you have one speed at CrossFit.
Yeah.
You won't come in and do a freaking zone 2 day and just take it easy. You go balls to the wall every single day.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
What about you, Chili?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything, but now that I've thought about it longer, I guess I could say that what I believe, I mean, I've always thought this, but more so now, is that sleep is the biggest thing you can do. I mean, that's Corn probably disagrees with me. He thinks you only need like 3 hours a night, but sleep is, I don't know why we were created that way, that to live optimally, you have to basically just be in a half-dead state for a third of your life.
It's weird
but,
to say it.
But we literally were created that way, and I don't think you can get around it. I mean, I don't believe these people who are like, I'm operating perfectly on 4 hours a night for years. And I mean, people say that. Like, they even think there's they've tried to argue there's a gene for it. I think Corn thinks he has it. But I think, I'm not saying you can't operate that way, but I don't think it's optimally. Like, I think you see huge improvements in your life and how you feel and how you can perform in the gym and at work, and if you get enough sleep. And along that would be recovery, but I draw a distinction between the two because I was sleeping probably 10 hours a night in the heart of years ago when I was training the most miles. I mean, I got the sleep I needed, but I still got up and put so much stress on myself each day that I was still not recovering. So sleep, and then also just reducing overall stress for recovery, because you can be training perfectly, but if you then add on top of that perfect training regimen stress and worry and negative talk and saying, oh, this is not working or this is not working, it will, like, the best training plan is one that you believe works. Like, I mean, my dad told me that probably 15 years ago, and I didn't really understand it until now. If you're coaching somebody and they believe that what you're having them do works, that's 10 times more important than it actually being effective. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't, and like, I mean, there is proven ways to do things. Like, it's not optimal if you're training for a 100-mile race to do push-ups every day and calf raises. But if you got someone to wholesale believe that would work, they would improve. I guarantee you they would. But if you had them running, a well-balanced training plan with a little bit of hills and a long run on the weekends, but you just somehow gave them input that it was just stupid and it was never going to work, guarantee you it wouldn't go well. So stress and the negative talk like that, like that's more important. And it goes along with what you were saying about your brain affecting earlier. But those two things, for sure. But adding on top of that, like adding all that onto yourself while you're trying to train is that hinders you from recovering and constantly stressing if you're doing the right thing and is this optimal. And you can sleep 10 hours a night and eat perfectly, but you can't overcome that added stress. So,
anything work for you, Blake?
I mean, I think that diet and sleep is like that's proven, and we have to have those things. But I guess the question comes in like, what is the right thing to eat, and how much sleep should you get? But I mean,
y'all look at him. What's wrong with him?
More sleep. What's wrong with him?
He's been hunting.
Look at him.
He just smoked the buck, son.
Look at his dang hair and stuff, man. What is wrong with you, Blake?
Looks like that pine straw buck.
Good night, man. You look rough, son.
I I'm looking good.
Tired.
No, I'm looking good.
Oh my
Red.
gosh. He
Y'all
just-
quit telling me that crap. I ain't tired. I look good. I feel good, and my body's healthy.
He just poked his head out from around that computer. He looked like freaking Gollum, son.
Look,
It's
when my
3:05. We
hair
need to wrap
gets
this up.
When my hair gets long, I believe that it's short, and you know what happens? It gets short.
Gosh almighty, man.
You agreed.
Well, Biscuit, thank you for sharing that with the audience today.
You're welcome.
Chili? What we got in the news today, Chili?
Don't forget chili. Oh.
Welcome back to WDEF 307. President-elect Donald Trump has met with current sitting President Joe Biden for a transition meeting.
For real?
President-elect Donald Trump has said that he anticipates the election transfer of power to be smooth. Joe Biden said, true international pressure, he believes it will be smooth as well. Kamala Harris has reached out to former Senator J.D. Vance and Vice President-elect for a transition meeting as well, and he declined.
You don't need to hear nothing from her.
No, I'm just kidding. She actually hasn't reached out. Did you know that?
Nuh-uh.
What a freaking weenie. Sore loser. But Joe Biden reached out to Trump, and they've sat down for a good 2-hour talk. 2 hours uninterrupted. They sat in the Oval Office and talked. How you think that went? The opinion piece. How you think that went? News correspondent Cornbread.
Not worth a crap.
I would like to have heard that conversation. You want to talk about a heck of a podcast?
Yeah.
If you could get the recording of that conversation.
They had sensitive information in that.
Joe Biden and Donald Trump for 2 hours. Personal conversation.
Let's switch over to local news before we come back with our national headlines.
Well, in local news, Chattooga County, Georgia Water Authority well number 7 tested positive for E. coli, which caused residents in Subligna/Gore community and Holland/Chattooga to boil their water for 3 days. It's tested clean now. Go on ahead and take a sip of it.
Dude, Chattooga County, man.
I love it.
Chlorine.
What a freaking place,
I want to
man.
move there so bad I can't stand it, dude.
You love what, Chattooga?
Yeah,
I mean, that place is a hole, dude.
it's awesome.
Good night.
No place you can stay up there.
Go up there and get you a sip of that water.
That place is borderline third world country, man.
Well, President-elect Donald Trump, what do you think they talked about in that meeting? I want to get your thoughts on what exactly happened.
Well, you know,
He said it was a good talk.
He's live here at the 307 studio.
it's really hard to say what they talked about because I just have lost confidence that Joe Biden can actually carry on a coherent conversation.
Are you saying this was for show?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was probably just for show. I mean, what are you going to talk to Joe Biden about? Unless he's got all of us fooled and he's really not as senile as he seems, like that's maybe just been an act.
Well, you know, he did come out after Kamala lost, and she made her concession speech, and he made his own speech, and he didn't really stumble one time. He ran out to the stage and said, "Well, it's going to be a great transition. Sometimes it doesn't go your way, but it was actually a great clip. You should watch it. He talked for 8 minutes unabated."
I've heard a lot of people say that they think Joe Biden actually voted for Donald Trump.
Jill Biden wore a red dress on election night.
Well, you know, Donald said he said that Joe was mad that they took him out of the candidacy. He said that he was pissed about it. He said, well, and he should be, you know. And so I think Joe and Don, I think they're a little tighter than what people think.
I really think they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he is mad that they kicked him out.
Yeah, and so, you know, he's hell-bent against Kamala. Joe is.
Well, the First Lady reached out to Melania, and she said no. Kamala has not reached out to Vance. And he would say no, but Don and Joe have been talking for 3 hours. Like,
What's the husband of the vice president? What's he called? Anything?
I don't know. What would he be called if he was the first husband, the first man?
Is he the second husband?
That's a good question.
I guess he's the second gentleman.
Yeah.
Wow. Second gentleman, Doug Emhoff.
Did you see all them rapper girls dancing at that at that Kamala rally?
No.
Son. Like Cardi B up there or something.
They was twerking.
I mean, they was getting it. They was getting it.
Who was it?
A bunch of black rappers up
But
there.
what was
women.
the one you named?
The Cardi B.
Now, what is she famous for?
What do you mean?
She's no.
She's
like,
a rapper.
Yeah, but like when you'd say, corn.
How does corn know?
Like when you
I don't.
like you would say Lady Gaga of Bad Romance fame. That's her big hit. Like so, Cardi B of
Neither.
I'd allow
I don't even know who that
poker
is.
Face. I'd allow poker face.
Lady Gaga of Poker Face fame.
Yeah.
So Cardi B of
Black rapper, dancer, woman.
I don't even know who she is.
Do you know who Lady Gaga is?
I've heard the name, but I don't know who she is.
She's of Bad Romance and Poker Face fame. And
Well, y'all
she,
go-
she also co-starred with Bradley Cooper in the movie. What was it called?
Y'all go
About
look it up.
singing.
Yeah,
Y'all go look a clip up.
Cardi B. Would you
It
just
may not have been, but they look like,
would you
of
say
that.
Cardi B? How would you search for this? Cardi B famous song?
Women dancers at Kamala's rally? That's
No,
what
but
I'd
I'm talking
search.
about her work.
What is Chili trying to trap you?
Well,
with?
I'm slowly detaching from the political scene because it's now the era of Big Daddy Trump. Gold is raining on your head. Deer season's extended. You're getting more turkey tags.
Up with Russia.
The dollar's up and the production is up.
With China.
China's dead. Russia's dead, and America's rising to the cream of the crop.
Rock.
Crap on these politics.
Ball with the ball.
You know why Joe Biden's trying to buddy up with Donald Trump. So Donald Trump don't freaking sick the dogs on him for all the crap he's done for the last 4 years. He's trying to keep himself out of prison, man.
Well, and other world news, this will affect Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and I would love to get our local news correspondent Cornred on the
Cornred.
to
Conrad.
North Korean troops have been sent by Kim Jong-un to fight in the war with Russia, in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. That Trump has promised he would end within 2 days of being in office.
Right.
So I guess January 22nd, that war will be over. So the North Koreans don't plan to fight for long, but Cornred,
Cannon fodder.
what?
Cannon fodder. They're going to put them people out there to die. Oh, my God. That's what they're doing.
You think that's what
Was
that's
it
for?
10,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. Russians are going to train them up, throw them out there and say, hey, go on ahead and die, bubble.
Hold on. So you're saying North Korea has sent 10,000 troops to augment Russian
Russia.
troops?
Yep.
Yeah.
Russia's huge, man.
Yeah.
Is their army just like crap or something?
Well, that's what a lot of people are questioning about this conflict, about why it's lasted for years against Ukraine. I mean, NATO is, well, NATO and NATO countries and the United States have sent so much money to Ukraine and so much ammunition and modern warfare technology that there's a lot of questions on if that has helped bolster their fight against the Russians, but I think that's a load of crap.
I'm sure it has to some extent, but at some point it takes bodies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I think they sent them over there 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago. I don't know how long they're supposed to get trained up for.
Yeah, they currently have no modern warfare experience whatsoever.
The North Korean troops?
They have zero. at all, and they're from, the communist country of North Korea. They have no experience. They've never done anywhere, no formal training, but they're expected to be augmenting the Russian troops. That's real.
Dang, man.
Yeah, what's that sound like to you? That they're just going to die?
Well, yeah. But to me, it's just really weird that as big as Russia is,
Says,
that their army would be that much crap that they couldn't just go and plow the Ukraine over. Russia's massive, man.
Right.
Says 3 generals came to Russia and had talks, and they're sending all of the North Korean troops to the Russian-held part of Kursk, and will soon see combat operations with no training. I'm not exactly sure what they'll be doing, but that seems odd to me.
I didn't even know that was going on, man.
That seems odd. That whole Russian-Ukraine conflict seems to be wildly
weird one.
misunderstood.
Yeah. It's been a weird one.
It's gone on for years.
It sure has.
Like when they first started it, they didn't hit any of the power grid or anything like that. Like to me, it seems as if they are truly just trying to protect their border, that they don't want NATO putting on there what they are exactly doing. Because my thoughts are just like yours. They're supposed to be a huge military might. And if they wanted the Ukraine, why could they not just roll completely over them? Why could they not? Why haven't they?
Yeah.
And I don't know this to be a fact, but I would think that Putin's probably not got much support from the citizens in Russia because there's a lot of Russian soldiers dying. Whatever agreement they've got now with North Korea to help each other out militarily is probably to calm some of the Russian troops dying. If I had to guess what it was about.
Yeah, there's a lot of talks between North Korea saying that essentially they want to strengthen their allyship with Russia in case, like, depending on who they want to go attack, essentially. Like, North Korea Kim Jong-un wants to attack South Korea.
Right.
But they just don't even, they're completely lost. But if he could get some Russian support for anything he wanted to do, that would really make, they wouldn't even have to be able to do anything. They could just use Russian support for that.
Right.
It doesn't sound like Russian support would be that much support if
Well,
they can't even win their
it'd
own
be a
war.
lot for North Korea. And what
yeah.
and what Russia gets out of this is, like Korn said, they could just kill 10,000 North Koreans instead of Russians and just be happy about it.
It's an odd thing over there. I mean, they're actually fighting each other. I mean, people are actually getting killed over there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's weird, though, man.
Yeah.
It's all a facade.
It's making a lot of money right now.
Yeah. Sure
It's
is.
making few people a lot of money.
But it's going to get interesting when Big Daddy Trump gets inaugurated because he says we leaving NATO.
Oh, really?
Do you think that will happen?
It would take years to do. I don't see how you could just pull out overnight.
I have a question for our local news correspondent regarding the a campaign promise that Donald Trump has made. I want to see if you remember something. So Trump announced full concealed carry reciprocity will be instituted during this next term of his. What do you think of that?
Look, if Trump said it, he's going to do it.
Well, I was going to ask Cornbread what he thought of the fact that that was promised 8 years ago and it did not come to fruition.
Well, I don't look to the federal government to tell me what I can do with my weapon anyhow. So they're going to do whatever they think they can do. They're going to do it. I'm going to do whatever I know I can do.
No.
That's my opinion.
Well, I didn't. I
That's
wanted.
my opinion.
I wanted to
Even when you had to have a concealed carry permit in Georgia, that is a tax on your Second Amendment right. They are freaking making you pay.
Yeah, I never played along with that, but
Exactly.
that doesn't change the fact that you could wind up with criminal charges against
That's
you
what I'm
because
getting
of
at.
it.
Exactly. Yeah, and you could also wind up dead because you didn't have it.
Yeah.
I'll take the charges.
Corn, I'm not asking for your opinion on if you need a concealed
said-
carry permit. I'm asking your opinion on why Trump promised that 8 years ago and didn't do it. Big
Yeah.
Daddy Trump failed us, and now he's promised it again.
You voted for him, Cornred.
He didn't have enough time.
You made Brooke vote for him.
Oh my God.
No, I just sent her to vote.
Let's not.
Yeah, we don't even know who Brooke voted for.
Let's not.
I know.
So did he promise that his first time around?
Yes.
Well, COVID messed that up.
He didn't. He didn't have
He
enough
was going to
time.
do it right there at the end.
Yep.
COVID.
Yeah, he
COVID
didn't. He
messed
didn't
it
have
up.
enough time.
He's picking up where that left off.
That was low on the list, Chili.
Everybody said that they were going to give Trump no excuse for not getting what he does, like getting what he wants passed. As long, if he's got the Senate, the House, the Supreme Court, a majority of daggum Republican governors, he's got everything. So if he doesn't do it now, what will your excuse be?
Oh, there's probably another pandemic coming anyway. I ain't taking up for him. I don't give a crap what he does.
Doesn't sound like it.
Cornbread's out, man.
He's just look. Wind this thing. What's what we got from Patreon? Corn is ready to go.
Yeah, well,
Quit
I am
asking him
too.
questions about Trump.
God, it's 3:21. I am too. I do have one more question. One more question.
I like Trump over there.
I don't have to go.
One more question. You getting up too?
No.
Okay. So Donald Trump has won election. Why is it quiet?
I did a truck talk on that the other day.
I know, but you didn't allow your opinion.
I presented 3 options.
But you didn't allow your opinion. Why is it quiet?
Well, I presented 3 options, and there could be other things going on too. I mean, you could present an endless list of options, right? I personally think it's freaking quiet because this whole scene is the WWF, man, the World Wrestling Federation. This whole scene is all part of the same organization. And you know what, man? I truly think that in the very beginning of the formation of this country, that it's a high probability that the founding fathers of this country made an agreement with each other that you're going to get your time as president, you guys are, and then you're going to get it for like 4 years or a couple terms, and then we're going to get our time. And then you're going to get your time. And it's like, I truly believe that was like a gentleman's agreement that was made at the very beginning of our nation. And I believe through some channel and through some way that is being carried on even to this day. And so I think it's all quiet because this is all just part of the show. It's time. It's now time again for Donald Trump to be and the Republicans to have their, time in office, right? And it just goes back and forth, and it's just an agreement, and that's the way it's been since the very foundations of this country. I don't believe a single election that has ever been held in the history of the United States was actually counted and influenced by the votes of the people. Not a single one. And so I think that's why it's all quiet, because it's all just part of the game. Personally. A lot of people think it's all quiet because the
try to get him
the
out.
Democrats are coming up with some scheme and they're waiting for the right time to try to get him out.
That will not happen.
A lot of people think it's all quiet because all these Democrats are afraid, they're scared to death that Trump's going to come after him when he gets put into office. Look, man, Donald Trump is a part of this whole freaking conglomerate, dude. He's a part of the whole daggone conglomerate, man. He's a genius, though. He's an anomaly. Like, he's a genius, but he's still part of it all. So that's why I think it's quiet. But I think that's a legitimate question that a lot of people are asking themselves.
Yeah.
And even I found myself asking myself.
I don't find it surprising though.
I thought there was going to be a little bit something go on at least.
But weeks ago we talked about that it wouldn't be quiet because this is. I mean, this was foreshadowed for months. Ain't nothing going on.
Well, why do you think it's all quiet?
Because I think this was foreshadowed for months. They knew this would happen. I mean, this was the plan.
Yeah.
There's nothing to rile up about. They've gotten what they needed out of the past. So people just thought since they got all out of whack and just attacked him so hard in 2016 that they were going to do that again because they actually hate the guy. They don't freaking hate Donald Trump.
I agree.
They don't hate him. They were never afraid that he was going to end the democracy. They were never afraid that he's a tyrant. They were never afraid that he's Hitler. They're not afraid of that. They said they were afraid of that, but they're not. And it's quiet now because it's not advantageous to be loud and opposed to him in the media. It's not time for that.
Yeah.
There will be some of that because you're going to hear voices from everybody, and some people do hate him. I mean, but nobody influential does.
Mm-hmm.
And there may be an attempt or a slight attempt or talks of an impeachment, but there would be an understanding that was for show from the beginning. It would not be a legitimate attempt. It would not even be, probably not even going to be carried out. There would just be talks of everything because right now there's talks of the Democrats are sitting and waiting, going to invoke the Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to get him out before he's ever even sworn in on the 20th. It's not going to happen. That's why it's quiet. No reason to talk.
Yeah.
Their candidate won.
Very unpopular opinion, by the way.
Very.
I'd say the thing that I've been hated most for this year is for my my lack of trust in the voting scene.
Oh, people hate you if you don't want to vote.
I am. That's probably what I'm most hated for this year, for sure. And man, I don't know.
Well,
it's funny. It's really funny to me that I have given this country more than 99.9999999% of people have given this country, and you want to tell me I'm un-American because I won't partake in a system that I won't partake in a system that has no right to govern me the way it governs me. It has no right to govern me the way that it governs me, the way that it freaking taxes me and regulates me and owns everything that I'm supposed to own for myself. I won't partake in that system, and you're mad at me for that? Well, you're just a fool, man. You're just a pawn. That's all you are. Because none of us should partake in that system. And that would be the only way to eradicate the system, is for everybody to say, no, we're not voting in this system because we don't want this system, because this system is not governing us according to the Constitution, according to our God-given rights as free people. So no, we're not participating in your election because we don't want any of your candidates. That's it. But yeah, I'm un-American, and I've given the country more than the vast majority of you have done anything for this country. So,
well, make sure to register to vote and vote early and vote often in your local elections. And in 4 years, get ready to vote again. Make sure your registration's up to date. That's a PSA at the end of the news.
Those people know if you vote or not.
That is true.
That is
People do
true.
know. Yeah,
That is true.
It's public record. If you
Yeah.
voted, it's public record. Anyway,
you're registered to vote.
that's the news.
This episode is brought to you by our partners at Drink HOIST. Dude, there's like 50 cases of HOIST sitting in my hallway
For the race.
for the race.
Next to that big buck display.
Yeah, okay. There's 50 cases of HOIST in my hallway. I got one bottle of HOIST out of those 50 cases, one bottle. And Brooke got so mad at me for taking one bottle of Hoist out of, I don't know how many Hoists is there, 500? Probably. She got so mad at me for taking one bottle of Hoist
Well,
out
just
of.
tell her 10 of them cases is ours.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So you got that out of one of them 10 cases.
She said she ordered a very specific amount of Hoist. And by me taking the one bottle out, it threw it off. But, hey, man, when there's Hoist around, you just can't help but grab you a bottle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to get a sip of
Yeah,
that.
I mean, when it's there, you just can't help but just grab a bottle and get you a pull off of it. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. If you guys like the show, if you've been listening for a while, give Hoist a shot, man. We've used Hoist for a couple years now. They've been amazing partners. Made in America. Hydrates better than water. It's got everything you need in it to keep you going longer, faster. I promise you it works. It's got calcium, potassium, magnesium. No dyes or preservatives. DrinkHoist.com is where you can find it. And if you run, if you hunt, if you work hard, it's going to hit the spot, son. Check them out at drinkhoist.com. Hoist, thank you for being such an amazing partner for us here at 3 to 7 Project and for creating an awesome product that works and allows us to do better at the things that we do. CB, what you got from Patreon?
This comes from Mike, no last name, Mike. He wants to hear a discussion around having a roller coaster of doing very well with his mind, body, and spirit for years, then falling down and having to climb back up to hitting on all cylinders. So many times he just gets tired. I need to do something different, and I don't know what it is. I want to lead a life of purpose and help people, yet I'm doing it terrible in this chapter of life. So he had a very high, he was doing very well in his mind, body, and spirit, and then he fell down. He was doing very, very well for years.
Yeah.
And wants to know how he can get back up there and doing very well again.
Yeah. Well, the first thing it's going to take is time, buddy. I think we talked a little bit about highs and lows when we were talking to Brooke earlier.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know how many times I've told you guys, you cannot expect to stay at the top and feel good and be clicking and just be rocking and rolling. Like, you cannot expect to stay there ever for very long. All right? Those are rare moments in life when you have a season when you're in that space where everything's just clicking and you're rocking and rolling. Like, those are super rare. Like, you're probably only going to get 5 or 6 of those seasons across the entire span of your life, dude. They don't last long. So don't beat yourself up when you're not there in one of those seasons. And when you're down and you feel like Mike feels right now, and like you're consuming your mind with, well, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this, man? You just, one, have to accept that it's going to take time, and 2, you have to just each day do the things that you need, that you know you need to do or that you should do. Like, do the next thing, right? It's real easy to get in way down in one of these low spots and then start trying to look at how to get back up on top. And you just become overwhelmed, man. Because it's so far for you to get back to where, or to get to the place that you want to get to. It's so freaking far. and you can get overwhelmed, and then you're just going to stay down there because you're looking way too far ahead and you're not doing the day-to-day things that you know you need to do. And you have to trust in doing the day-to-day things that you know you need to do. Look, you say you're kind of at a low point in your spiritual life. Well, you still need to get up. You still need to get in the Word of God. You still need to take time, spend time in prayer. You still need to have fellowship with other believers. You still need to do all those things, even though you're at a low point in your spiritual life. Like, you just do those things. You know you need to do them, just do them. And you have to trust that those things will eventually produce fruit in your life and will eventually bring you to a different place. It's the same thing with your fitness, man. I'm kind of there with my fitness right now. I'm in the worst shape I've been in years. I freaking went to the gym the other day and threw my back out, dude. Had barely been able to walk for 2 days, man. It's like, well, you're going to be there at times with your health. Well, you still know the things you need to do every day. Like, do what you can in terms of movement, in terms of working out each day. Try to eat halfway decent. Do the things that you know you need to do to take care of yourself, and trust that that's going to move you in the right direction, right? And Brooke talked about it with the mind earlier. She talked about, looking for the little things in life that go against your thinking right now, or your weak mind, or your mental weakness, or whatever. Finding those things, even if they're small, and actually entering into those situations and those scenarios that don't make you feel so good mentally, right? Like, that's all it is. Every day, hit those 3 things, do the things you know you need to be doing, and trust that that process over time is going to move you in the right direction. But it's not going to happen as fast as you want it to happen, man. So, look, dude, life is just a whole series of going up and down. It has been for me anyways. Maybe I'm the only one. But my entire life is just seasons of being up, feeling like everything's great, and then seasons of being down and feeling like I'm in a rut. But I just don't give up, and I keep trying to do the things I know that need to be done in order to move me in the right direction. And there's no other formula than that, dude. Like, you just have to keep going. And, like, keep going doesn't mean, like, just keep moping along through life. You just have to keep going, and that means you have to keep doing the right things over and over again and trusting that process. And there's nothing special about what you're going through right now. It's not unique to you. All freaking humans go through this. All business owners, all people who are Christians, whether they tell you they do or not. There's so many seasons in my life where I don't feel close to God. I don't feel the Holy Spirit. I'm not excited about reading my Bible. I'm not excited about praying. I do it anyways. So that's my advice for you, man. Be patient with it, because it's going to take longer than you want it to take. All right? But you are in a large part in control of the direction you're going. Whether you're going to stay in that rut or whether you're going to move in a better direction towards a better place. In large part, you're in control of that by deciding to do what you know needs to be done and actually doing it. That's my advice for you, Mike. Thank you for the question. All right, boys.
I'll just add one thing,
got,
Mike.
Chili?
I'll just add one thing. I don't think you got into the good place that you were in, where you felt like everything was good. I'm talking to Mike here. I don't think you got there by accident. and you probably didn't get into the low point now by accident. And it does go along right with what Chad was saying, but I just say it in this way because it's what I kept thinking of in relation to my own experience with this. You were in neither position by accident, so it doesn't mean just copy everything you did and try to recreate your old life, but the things you were doing and how you were thinking and what you were saying to other people and who you were surrounding yourself with when everything was on the up. And I guarantee you that's like all of those things are different. You're not around the same people in the same way. You're not saying the same things. You're not doing the same things. So you know what needs to be done and don't think that you're going to get back there by accident. So anyway.
Good word, chill, man.
I've got some super chats here.
Robert E. Lee.
I'm going to read Marty Bingham's in succession.
Oh, yeah, get Marty's. Where is that?
Yeah, Marty sent me some gifts.
One thing in there can't be opened on air. It says it on the
Yeah, don't do that.
paper.
Got some dang OG Waffle House hats, son.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about.
Thank you, Marty.
Thank you, Marty.
Heck yeah.
He's got a
House.
so
Man, that's an OG Waffle House hat.
Thank you, Marty. It looks pre-worn.
Marty said that he had already given you one of those, but he sent it anyways, and he said he included the soapstone hippo that he got from Africa in there, so you didn't feel left out.
Dang, sure did. Look at that.
Hippopotamus.
Pretty nice right there. Thank you, Marty.
I didn't believe Marty went to
He
Africa
sent me a
for
book
the longest
right here.
time, but
Yeah, he stays over there.
he did go.
Yeah, he's always in Africa.
Yeah, Marty don't play. He also sent us a storyboard.
Now it's classified.
Yeah, we can't read this to you guys. Free of charge. Thank you, Marty. We'll
Those are
dig
pretty cool.
We'll
Yeah,
dig
it
into
was
this,
really
brother.
cool.
You guys already looked at
Yeah,
this?
it's.
Well, yeah, we got to clear the mail.
Thank y'all for keeping me safe.
You're welcome.
So Marty gave some super chats here. His first one was $4.99. He said, "I'm looking forward to the Mountain Mama this weekend." His second one was $9.99. He said, "Unless I have trouble getting out of bed or it's a little windy or something." And then his third one was $19.99. And it says, "But if everything lines up just right, I plan to establish a course record for the most laps doing the Ric Flair strut in a pair of Liberty overalls, and I expect it to stand for a while."
Well, you're going to get two records, Marty. The most laps, Ric Flair strut and overalls, and you're going to set the course record for white male over 95 years old in overalls
Got him.
on the Mountain Mama Farms course.
He got you, Marty.
He's
been got.
He is going to set the record for the 95 and plus age group. Because we don't have an age group over 95. So that record's going to stand for a while, Marty.
He got you, Marty. Thank you, Bubba.
Manfred Kampf came in at 10:37. He said, "I was looking forward to Mountain Mama, but I have to bail and pull the chute. Can't make it. I was looking forward to meeting everybody."
Dang, Manford.
What the heck?
Kind of shoot you pulling, Bubba.
Thank you, Manfred.
We had
Thank you, Manfred.
Red Lightning come in at 99.99.
Wanger.
Good night.
Davis Weiniger. He's
Weiniger.
nuts.
99.99.
Thank you,
Again.
Red Lightning.
Wow.
Thank you, Bub.
Thank you, Red Lightning. That's awful gracious of you, brother.
Thank you, Davis.
Appreciate your support, man.
Wanger.
Should we call him Red Lightning?
Did Davis? Why I haven't seen Davis's application come through for the advanced drop mission yet.
Oh, it needs to.
I've seen two have come through so far.
We got a spot for Davis.
Mm.
I'll
He's
go ahead
got
and say
gold.
that. I'll go ahead and say that if he's got gold.
He's
Yeah,
got that
I'll go
coin.
ahead and say we've got a spot for Davis.
It's gonna be legit.
He's
man.
given enough to buy his gold on
For
Super
real, good
Chat.
night.
Appreciate it, Bub.
We had Jekaret. He come in at $4.99. He said, "Thank you for your boldness. Y'all inspired me to seek help and break free from my porn and sex addiction. I'm now walking with Christ 1 year sober."
Praise the Lord, man.
Jackarat, thank you.
Yeah, I want to do a whole study. I want to do a whole thing on Resurrected one Sunday on just this whole conversation around sexual immorality, man, because it's not something that you have to struggle with. Like, we use the excuse, I think, a lot of times as men that all men struggle with this sexual immorality and lust and pornography and all this stuff. And it's not something that you have to struggle with as a man. And that's just a great testimony that is true, man. And that the power of Christ in you is more powerful than that struggle of lust or that lust that dwells within your flesh. So praise the Lord for that, man. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, he sent a second one, $4.99, said, since listening to the podcast, I've now completed 2 marathons and the rim to rim to rim Grand Canyon last month.
That's awesome.
Then we had little Virgil come in at $1.99, and he dropped that ... Just
Yeah,
like you
3
said.
dots.
Yeah, just like you said he was going to
I
do.
told you that at lunch.
Yeah, you said he ain't going to send no emojis, he's going to send them dots.
Yep.
Freaking LV, man.
Thank you, little Virgil.
Remember that time somebody called in and said they were LV, but they weren't really LV?
That
They
was
got,
terrible.
They got convicted afterwards and
Yeah.
let us know. They actually
Yeah.
were.
I knew it wasn't little Virgil. You could tell.
Yeah, you did know, Chili. I assumed that there wasn't a human out there that listened to our podcast anyways that was that
Immoral.
immoral and dishonest. Never ceases to amaze me.
Great.
We had Sarah Meadows, $5, coming from OH for the Mountain
Ohio.
Mama, 3 of 7.
Heck
Has been
yeah.
a big influence in mine and my husband's walk with Christ. Can't wait to meet y'all. Much love to you.
See you Saturday, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
We had Deplorable Lawn Guy, $49.99.
Whoa.
He said, stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Dang, boy. Joker throwing that money down, be getting rough.
Appreciate it.
We had Brandon Madrid, $4.99. Can't wait to see you guys for the January Rite of Passage. Love what you guys are doing.
Outstanding.
Thank you,
Blake will
Brandon.
read it. Thank
Man,
you, Brandon.
January rite of passage, son. That could be real ugly, or it could be real nice. It's gonna be a toss-up.
We had Jeremiah J37, $20. Love you guys. Have been following along since 2019 after I heard Chad on 10 Junk Mile podcast.
Oh my gosh!
I'm grateful for these weekly podcasts y'all do. I'll see you on Saturday.
Outstanding, man.
You
that's
started
a long
your
time.
podcast career running podcast,
Yeah.
as a guest.
That was one of the
Yeah.
first.
Yeah,
Trail
that's
Runner
wild,
Nation,
man.
you did?
Yeah.
yeah. That was the first
Was it?
Trail Runner
Trail
Nation.
Runner Nation?
Yeah.
Dang.
Untrue Lies coming at $10. Inspired to follow my dream and start my own channel, Untrue Lies.
There you go.
Thank
Get
you,
it,
Untrue
buddy.
Lies.
Get it.
Carrie McCleary, $19.99. Love you turds.
There you go. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that.
On the flip flop. Don't
Just-
be a freaking turd, man.
Justin Milford come in at $20. That post lifted my spirit today, Brooke. I'm currently in that season you were in, and it sucks. Thank you for sharing. You're an inspiration. Now I'm praying to be invited to serve the Advanced ROP team. Love y'all.
We appreciate you, Justin.
Yep. Thank you, Tin
Yeah.
Man.
Brooke inspires me too.
And that's it.
You know that January, Rob, the weather might be bad, but we decide that. But the March one,
They decide.
they decide.
It's gonna be big, son.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We love y'all, and Lord willing, we'll talk to y'all next week. Enough said.